Well, joining me now to discuss this is the security expert Will Geddes and Emma Carr, who's from Big Brother Watch. It's great to have you both on the programme. And Emma, let's start with you. I mean, homegrown terrorism has returned to the UK, hasn't it? If there's ever a reason to look again at this bill, it's now, isn't it?
Well, I think what we need to do is look at the absolute facts as to what happened in this instance. And it really kind of shocks me to see that senior politicians are taking to the airwaves just hours after this incident happened.
Why does it shock you?
Well, talking about a bill without the facts. I think we need to know how these people were related, what communications they were making, and you can't make that judgment just hours after somebody is killed.
I suppose we don't want a knee-jerk reaction here. Even the Prime Minister has said that, Will Geddes.
No, I think you're right. I don't think we want a knee-jerk reaction. However, I think one of the key findings at this stage, which a lot of people are questioning, is how these individuals managed to slip the net of the security services and, to a certain extent, were below the radar in terms of their priority. And this issue of raising the bill at this particular time is quite poignant.
And Emma, the police want these powers. Lord Carlisle, let's face it, he's a security expert. He's a Lib Dem. It was his boss who didn't want these, but he's worked with the government for nearly 9 years on anti-terror laws. He says the police need it. Why would you stand in their way?
Well, one of the reasons why the bill was dropped is because there was a disparity about what powers the police and security service actually want. We know there was an issue with matching IP addresses
What's
to
your
actual...
problem with it, though? Why do you not like it?
Well, what came out of the bill was that there's a lack of skills training and technology at the moment. So there's currently around 2,000 to 3,000 people that are under surveillance by the security services. They're very good at identifying those people, but there's a lack of skills training and technology to keep monitoring their communications. And so actually, we think the £2 billion that was earmarked for this bill would be much better spent tackling those issues to start with, and then addressing the IP issue slightly later on.
And Nick Clegg goes on to say that storing the data of everyone's internet use is impractical and it's disproportionate. Has he got a point, Will?
Well, you can't be that selective. Ultimately, as has been said, you've got in excess of 2,000 persons of interest to the security services. Now,
you'd have to monitor everyone in order to have a look.
Indeed, and then you have to filter through. And there are going to be individuals, no doubt, that haven't even shown on the radar yet, that these suspects are potentially communicating with. Now, the issue that you have with the security services, and it's unfair to blame them for not having these two individuals, particularly on their radar at this time, is they have to prioritise the people that they see as the most imminent risk to the country. And they only have a finite amount of resource that they can use to do that. Now, we know that criminals are getting much smarter about communicating through more surreptitious means.
And Emma, people will be watching tonight thinking, if this man's life could have been saved, why are you standing in the way of it? They won't understand your opposition to having a few emails or internet searches looked at.
Look, I absolutely want the security services to have the power to look at communications data. We do not have a problem with that. But this bill would not have shown content of communications data. Now, that's the difference. What's the point of having indiscriminate communications data for everybody in the country when you can't handle 2,000 to 3,000 people's communications data at the present time?
And Will, would you personally have a problem with, Big Brother watching what you're looking at on the internet?
I think the underlying mantra one has to remember is, if you're not doing anything wrong, you've got nothing to worry about.
I think that's interesting, because I know your company does sell encryption data and it advises on that. So you're actually advising people on how to stop people from seeing their communications. So I think that's an odd argument. And also,
we have to leave it there. And I suppose Will has allowed his point. We'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.